Hey everybody, I'm Tommy Scoville. This is the Tommy Scoville Show. Welcome aboard. People, I hope you're having a great weekend. I am having an excellent weekend. I can't begin to tell you how happy I am to have a few days off. Today, folks, we've got some business to take care of. Before we do, this is a monumental moment for me. Last night, I've been working 12-hour shifts from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So going to sleep is tough when you've had that schedule for an entire 5-day period of time. Laying down at 9 o'clock and going to sleep, or 10 o'clock and going to sleep, is just difficult. So I sat bolt up in bed at about 3 o'clock and started answering comments that I've missed. I try to stay on top of them. It's getting to the point where it's impossible. I'm not complaining. I'm rejoicing, right? That means we're doing something right. So many people are leaving so many great comments that it's taken a while. I'm going to keep doing it, people, until my fingers can no longer do it. But in doing so, I came across the comment that I have wanted to give credit for the longest period of time. Mr. LB Loxley is the gentleman that brought to my attention the concept of addiction as a dictator. And honestly, people, I spent 6 years. I have notebooks this filled, from notes I took on books that I read. But that changed for me. That's the perfect first example of someone on this boat literally changing the direction of this boat. How I view addiction, how I teach addiction will never be the same because of the analogy that LB gave us. I think it's super appropriate. I do not believe in coincidences. I never have, and I never will. But there is something just so amazing to the fact that it's LB. You know what LB signifies on a ship, correct? That's the lifeboat. That's the lifeboat. That's the boat you use when all else fails, is the lifeboat. So the fact that he is LB Loxley, I think, is just it's just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, LB. Truthfully, what you've done to the direction of what I do and how I do what I do is just amazing. It's such a contribution. I cannot thank you enough. You'll get sick of me saying that because I'm going to try, but I can't thank you enough. Good stuff. Today, people, we are going to choose the name of a boat, right? The criteria for how this works is fairly simple. The list that is compiled, the way that your suggestion got on this list is very simple. Either more than once somebody commented on the fact that they loved your idea, or more than one person came up with the same name. That's the only way that somebody got one of their names onto this list. I didn't pick anybody based on my decisions. You have been kind enough to put a lot of faith in me to be the captain of this boat. Granted, I could do it without you, but I would be talking to nobody, right? So really it wouldn't be much of a boat. It wouldn't be much of a channel. So for that reason, I feel very compelled to allow you people to name the boat. I think that that's the right thing to do. I've had a great number of comments that said, you should name this boat. I don't feel like that's what I should do. I really don't. I'm going to run it, right? I'm going to be the captain of this boat. However, if I met somebody better than me, if I saw somebody that was just amazing, I would happily step down. I really would. I would take a different role. But I think I think I can keep up. And I feel it's my calling in life. I don't want to sound over dramatic when I say that, but I think this is what I was born to do. I really think that my mission in life is to take this message to the masses, and I'm going to do that. But I'm going to do it on a boat that my shipmates name. I feel strongly about that. So, without further ado, let us get to the list. You heard the criteria. Now, you will hear how we're going to vote. Plain and simple. There's only 2 ways to vote. You could do it in the comment section. That would be great because then everybody can see it. I'm getting right now probably 250 to 350 emails a week. And that's awesome. I'm not complaining. If I don't get back to you instantly, I'm trying. I promise I am. However, if it's going to be something like voting, there are people that don't want, for whatever reason, they don't want their suggestions out in front of everybody. Whatever. I'm cool with that. If you don't want your vote out there, I'm cool with that. However, it doesn't need to be secretive. You don't need to email it to me unless you really feel like that's what you want to do. I'm not... Just do what you want to do. But it's one of those 2 methods, the only way you're going to be able to vote on this. So these are the names, as I've told you from the criteria. We have the name Redemption. We have many people that that put that in as a suggestion as the name of a boat. I like it. I like all these, by the way. There's none, well, almost all these. Number 2, Genesis. This is the only selection where I had a couple of people say, too religious. The word Genesis happens to be the first book of the Bible. It also happens to be a word that has nothing to do with religion. I like Genesis. I really do. I think it's, again, I like all these. I won't keep saying I like this. 3, sobriety. 4, I gotta say I love this one, is Lucky. I think that's a great name for the boat. I really do. I keep telling you, tell me I'm lucky. I need to hear it. But you know what? We're all lucky that we found each other. So I love that name. Family. That's a great name for the boat. Change. Another great name. Transformation. Another great name. Although the algorithm seems to get really upset when you try to type in the word transformation. They think it may have when they see trans, they go gay. They're going to say something bad about trans people or whatever the case may be. But I love the name. I really do. And then Tommy. I'll be honest with you folks, more people wrote that in than anything else, and I think it's because you really didn't think about it. It's your vote, but it's not about me. It's about all of us, right? I get to be the captain. We don't need to name the boat after me. It's your vote. You can do with it what you want. I haven't been lobbying for any of these. I shouldn't lobby against this one, but I'm going to. Let's not call it the Tommy. Honestly, we could do better, but you can call it whatever you want. Put in your vote for whatever you want, but I think we can do better than Tommy. That's my 2 cents. Okay, now before we leave, there's a story that I want to tell you because I was reading it and it just slapped me in the face in terms of how it applies to everything going on here. Now, I will admit that my life is skewed to one thing. This channel is the focus of my life. It's probably why I'll remain single for a really long period of time, if not permanently. But it is the focus of my life, and everything that I read, everything that I see, tends to come back to this boat. And we need a name for it. But this just jumped out at me, like just so few things. There's a terrible story I read about 3 people. That's a true story, by the way, about a group of 3 people whose car died in Sun Valley. In Death Valley, rather. It's 120 degrees. They had nothing. They didn't have water. They didn't have supplies of any kind to survive in that environment. And I don't know how long they stayed at the vehicle before they decided to take off on foot. The article wasn't, there's certain things that no one's ever going to know because of how the story ends, but they began to walk. And they tried to walk back to a farmhouse that they had passed along the way. And they must have left in 3 different increments because they were not together. Or one just could walk considerably faster, but one had made it about 18 miles in 120 degree weather before he succumbed and the heat killed him. The other made it about 13 miles, was behind him by just 4 miles. And then the heat, took care of him as well. And the last passenger in that vehicle made it a little more, I believe, than 8. If I'm misquoting that, I'm not misquoting it by much. I think it was 8 miles. But all 3 of them died. And the part of this story that killed me, the part of the story that slapped me in the face, was if they had gone in the other direction, they were 1 mile away from an oasis, a legitimate oasis, drinkable water, shade, a place where they have installed permanently a satellite phone for people that run into this type of an emergency. 1 mile. They made it 17 times farther than they had to. They walked 17 times the distance that would have saved their life, but instead they all died. This was a mistake that cost them their life. And I started thinking about the show because it's what I think about. And you know what those people needed? All of those people, all they needed was one person who had been there before. All they needed was one person to say, no, this is how you do it. From here, this is what you do. And 15 minutes, I'll have you to a place where there's everything you need, right? To survive is 15 minutes away. Is it going to be hard? You bet. It's 120 degrees. Walking a mile in 120-degree weather is so difficult. It really is. It's going to be a struggle. But if there's somebody there to guide you. Now, I'm not doing the "Isn't Tommy Great" speech. You have an opportunity here to have hundreds of people, right, to guide you. Hundreds of people that know the path that you need to take, to know the steps that you need to step into in order to get where you're going. And you know what? It is a matter of life and death. For so many people, this is life or death stuff. And even if it's not, it's certainly your best life lies in this direction. And there are so many people here ready to lead you on that path, right? Take it. It's here. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the fact that all of us see in you us. We see in you what we used to be, right? That we know the struggles. We know that walk. Let us show you the way, right? It really grabbed me when I read this article. I just thought, wow, this is exactly what it is we're doing. This is what the boat is all about. It really just, it hammered it home. And people, be willing, right, to learn from other people's mistakes. It's literally genius if you can learn from other people's mistakes. Smart people learn from their own. Geniuses learn from other people's mistakes. We're here for you every step of the way. Read the comment section, people. There are guys, I'm not putting anybody on blast because they're writing there themselves, but there are people out there that are having struggles right now. And there's a gentleman that I know who's listening to the sound of my voice who's having a hard time, and he has a hard time wrapping his brain around the fact that there's this many people that would like to help him. I think he's waiting for and we would like a donation of $600. It is hard wrapping your brain around the fact that someone will just help you out of the kindness of their heart. People, the person who helped me out of the kindness of his heart is in prison, and he's going to die there. He's not going to get out. And he had no reason whatsoever to look at me and decide to help me. None. He got nothing out of it. And I'm not going to lie to you. I thought he was a sexual predator when he first started trying to help me because it just didn't make sense. What's he getting out of this? But he used to be addicted. And he saw himself every time he looked at me. He looked at me and thought, oh, I was that poor guy. And he's one of the happiest people I've ever met. One of the most positive people I've ever met. And he's going to die in federal prison. He works 10 hours every single day in a factory making uniforms for the United States military and other militaries around the world in a place called Unicor. I worked there with him. He's been working there for 25 years. His crime took place when he was in his teens. And they're never going to let him get out. They're never going to forgive him for what he did under the influence that many years ago. And yet he won't let it get him down because he would rather live sober in there than high on the street. He gets it in a way that very few people do. And the part of this story that's staggering people, especially for those who understand what it means to be inside prison, but this man's black. And blacks and whites don't talk in prison. They're not allowed to, right? We're mandated. We are not allowed to sit together. It's really frowned upon for any kind of interaction between the races, which is ridiculous, right? But this man who counseled me and this man who got me clean was a black man. And I remember saying to him, I can never repay you. He had a nickname, and there's no reason to share it, but his name is Q. It's too hard to pronounce his name, so everybody calls him Q that are friends with him. There's a prison nickname everyone has, but for the purpose of this story, we'll just refer to him as Q. And I said to him, there's no way I can ever pay you back. He said, be somebody's Q. So if you're having a difficult time understanding why anybody would do this for you, it's because it's been done for us. It's because somebody took a chance on me is the reason I'm here and I'm talking to you. So my goal is to be the Q for those people, right? For you. I would like to be that person for you. And you're going to pass it forward. You're going to get to the 8th step the way I run it, or you're going to get to the 12th step the way that Alcoholics Anonymous runs it. And you're going to be somebody's Tommy, right? This is how this works. And it may seem like, I'm going out of my way. You're going to realize when you get past that 7th step or that 11th step that this is a calling that literally, it becomes your high. There's no other way to explain it. It becomes your high. So if you're falling down out there today, people, there's another great quote. You know, it was, and I'm going to misquote it, but you'll get the gist of it. When Nelson Mandela got his Nobel Peace Prize, he thanked the people and said, "But I hope you're not giving this to me because of my successes. I would like to believe you're giving this to me for how many times I got up after being knocked down." Doesn't matter if you got knocked down today. Doesn't matter if you got knocked down yesterday, right? One of the reasons that I like to say, when you say I quit, I will judge you from that day forward, is because I'm going to judge you from that day forward, right? You haven't done anything today that gives me any reason to judge you. You're blameless. It's a new creature. So if you quit, don't talk to me about yesterday's session. Let's talk about going forward, right? Let's talk about it from now going forward. So people, thank you so much. Now you've got work to do. You got a list of names, right? Tell me what the name of this boat is going to be. Your job. You understand? Not mine. Your job. Tell me the name of this boat. I'm not going to let this voting go on for days. I'd like to tally this up, and I would like to tell you by tonight, worst case tomorrow morning, because we actually have an event coming up. You don't know it's coming, but there's an event coming up, and you'll know about it before Monday. Good stuff, really good stuff. People, let's see if I can do this magic trick correctly, because I've been blowing it lately. Okay, ready? Are we ready? So right about here, you're going to see this little thing pop up. And it looks like a round circle. It's got a T and an S and an S. That's the symbol of the show. Go ahead and click on it, and you will become part of this. You will join this organization, this boat. Over here are some videos. Watch them all 7 times, and I will see you on the next video. I'm Tommy Scoville. This is the Tommy Scoville Show.